So I'm completely unconscious. I could hear what the nurse was saying, but I
Mhm.
can't open my eyes and I can't move my body. She's like, "I'm gonna give you something that's gonna wake you up." And so she puts in my IV line, and then it's like a baseball bat hits me in the back of the head. My eyes pop open, but I have no control over my body, and I start vomiting and throwing up. She freaks out. She leaves the room, and I'm there alone, and I can't breathe. I hear this voice, and it's like, "Mark," and it's like, "Mark." It says, "Mark," and it says, "Fight for me, show me you wanna live, and I'll show you the way."
You know how I always say life be lifing? Sometimes life hits us and takes us higher than we ever imagined. Sometimes it brings us down to our knees. The interesting thing about life is that the fires we fear the most are often the fires that transform us. Today's guest knows that better than anyone else. The world knew him as the Smashing Machine, one of the most dominant heavyweight fighters to ever step in the ring. He is a champion, a feared competitor, and for a time, many believed he was the most dangerous man on the planet. But behind the victories was another fight that no one could see, a battle with pain, a battle with addiction, a battle with identity. Long before athletes openly discussed mental health and opiate addictions, Mark Kern made the courageous decision to let the cameras capture his darkest moments. He showed the world what so many people spend their lives trying to hide. Today, his story has been inspired by a major picture starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, proving that some of the greatest victories don't happen in front of thousands of fans. They happen quietly, one day at a time. Today, we're talking about courage. Not the courage to fight another man, the courage to fight yourself. Mark Kern, welcome to Out of the Fire.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank
No,
you.
that's an introduction. Thank you
Well,
for that.
thank you. Just God, I have pimples because your story is so amazing. At the same time, it's so heartfelt. Like for real, it's people don't know what people go through. I always say that. I say that to my kids driving around like you don't know what that person's going
Yeah,
through because you
yeah,
really don't know what are going through, especially people who are in front of the camera.
yeah.
We always think it's so much easier and life is just la la la. And we're gonna get into all that. But let's get into um first how you started, where you're from. I want some background. So
Okay,
give me the background of how we
alright.
got here, how you became fighting and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
just give me the background on who you are.
um, well, I can tell you I'm a Puerto Rican, Irish, raised in a Mormon family from
Wow.
Toledo, Ohio.
Whoa.
So, I mean, that in
That's a
and of it,
mixture.
it's a huge mixture, and it's one of those, now I look at, like, I listen to a lot of Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell talks about, like, an outlier. Like, in my community, there really wasn't any identity or example of, like, what it was to be, like, super successful w in the career path that I chose,
Right.
right? Um, it's just interesting because youngest of 5 kids, um,
Mhm.
end up with 2 older brothers that super successful guys. I mean, it's one of those in different endeavors.
Okay.
There wasn't a bunch of athletes coming from my area of Toledo,
So
Ohio.
how'd you get into it? How did this happen? Did you always love sports?
Um, I so they were just part of the culture, I think, playing from baseball. I thought I was gonna be a baseball player. Thought I was gonna be a baseball
Yeah.
player. I thought that was
Super
it.
simple.
Yeah, super simple. Just
Super
hit
simple.
just hit the ball.
You went
Just
the
throw
opposite way.
completely different, right? And so the thing that, was my vehicle to change my life was wrestling. I wrestled, eventually went to Syracuse University, wrestled for Syracuse
So you
University.
started in high school?
So I started in high school, and, that's, like, one of the things where, um, I tell kids now, I said, "Wrestling's really hard.
Mhm.
It's difficult, and you still sign up and still go every day, and it's voluntary, right? You sign up for
Right.
something you know is difficult and hard, and you show up, and you do it every day,
Right.
and it just builds a different part.
Discipline.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I look at other wrestlers and I go, "You have something in you that's completely unique."
Right.
because everybody thinks, yeah, why are things hard? Well,
Right.
that's life.
Right. Life is hard. I'm telling my kids that right now. Life is hard. And then you get over it and you figure out how to have fun and
Yeah.
make it the funnest you
Yeah.
possibly can. So college, you went to Syracuse.
Yep. Went to
Hmm.
Syracuse University
Yep.
and end up my senior year in college, I won an NCAA championship for Syracuse.
Okay.
And that was kind of, I call it empirical proof. Like at that point, I knew I was good, but I didn't have the proof that I could be the best.
Right.
Right. And so I won an NCAA championship, and then that just opened up a whole different mindset for me. Did an Olympic run from 92 to 96, was an alternate
Wow.
on the 96 Olympic team.
And where was the Olympics then?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
Atlanta,
Okay.
Georgia.
Yes.
It's just one where there's a lot of complexities in 96. And it'll get us off into the weeds a little bit, but I wrestle for a wrestling club. After you get done with university, you join a wrestling club, and I wrestle for Team Foxcatcher. Team Foxcatcher was owned by a guy named John DuPont, John DuPont from the DuPont chemical family.
Wow.
In January 1996, he murdered my coach, a guy named Dave Schultz.
God.
And they made a movie, Foxcatcher.
Yes.
And
Wow.
so
And you were in.
I
You
was
were
involved.
around.
Yeah,
and all that.
I wrestled for Foxcatcher from 93 to 96.
And can you say why they think they
They
merged?
still don't have an idea, other than untreated mental illness,
And how old were you at this time when this was happening?
So I was 25,
That's
20.
heavy.
It was really heavy because,
That's heavy.
I go, you want to know a bad month? So January 1996, over in Russia, and they make the announcement, Dave Schultz, my coach, is murdered, right? Get back to the States, go back to Ohio, where I'm from. My mom's diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Mm.
Okay, I got the
I'm
Olympic I got
sorry.
the Olympic trials in April, right? This is January. I go on another international tour overseas to get ready for the Olympic trials, and I get injured. It just turned into a sequence of events where it was like one of the most complex years of my life.
Yep. I understand those.
Because it's one where it's like, I'm a mama's boy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 5 kids.
Yeah.
And so after the Olympics were over, guy I competed against for years named Kurt Angle, he won the gold medal.
Hmm.
And still to this day, it breaks me to tears. He wrote this letter to my mom. My mom was trying to get a hold of him before she passed away to just say, congratulations. And he sends this letter that gets there right after my mom passed away. But the letter means more to me and my family.
So you didn't get to see your mother before she passed away.
So I did.
Okay.
I
Good.
did.
I'm sorry about that.
No,
That's
it's like one of those complex things.
yes.
Like,
Trust me. I'm actually going through a complex thing, very similar to that, and I have been. I will get more into that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
completely understand, and that's why, hence, how to the fire,
yeah,
because I've had my share of fire and of life challenges and the pivots that you have to make
yeah,
to keep going,
yeah,
and how you keep rebounding. So I completely understand that,
yeah.
and yeah. So wrestling became your outlet.
It was my outlet,
Right.
and then after my mom passed away, September 3rd, 1996, I have all this training, getting ready for the Olympics, and a guy had said, "Hey, I think I can get you fights," not really understanding what I'm stepping into,
Right.
right?
And who's this guy?
This guy's named Richard Hamilton.
Who's this guy? Like this guy's like, I can get you a fight. Like, yeah.
So at the time, leading up to the 96 Olympics, I was living in Phoenix, Arizona,
Okay.
where I live now. And so a guy there said, "Listen, I can get you a fight, and you can make $25,000 one night." And I'm like, "Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll do that right now.
Yeah."
And I can't fight. Well, yes.
So part of it, I didn't know what I was stepping into. And he said, "Hey, listen, my mom passed away. Went back out to Phoenix, started training, and had my first professional fights in January 1997.
Okay.
And down in Brazil. And it's like out of a movie script because nobody would sign up for it. It's like there's no weight classes. It's in the basement of this hotel in downtown São Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
Okay.
This is a movie.
It gets even.
That's why you already have a
it's-
movie about you, because this is a movie. Keep going.
It's bare knuckle.
Wow.
So bare knuckle. And it's fight till somebody gives up.
Ugh.
And so that night I have to fight 3 times in one night. And so fight the first guy, fight the second guy, and then the third guy I fight is this really, really everybody's there to see him. He's this Brazilian guy named Fábio Gugel. And it turns into this like 20-minute fight where this is what's crazy about fighting. And I didn't understand this at the time. This is in retrospect, is that I'm taking the thing from him he covets the most, which is his will.
Right.
And he doesn't want to give it to me.
No.
And so if you actually look at the original fight, it's brutal.
Yeah. Because he's like, you're taking everything from me.
Everything.
This is what I live off of. So we're going to fight to the death.
That's what it felt like. And so when you watch it, like even to this day, it's hard for me to watch myself do that.
And did you win?
I won, and
I know who I'm calling when I need to back up. No, check out. I know there's nothing funny about this.
No, it's one of those where you know, the part about it where you know, understanding like you know, somewhere in my head I needed to have the answer to this question. If me and another person were put in a room and somebody said only one of you can come out, I needed to understand that I'm capable, at least capable as a human being, to get to that place where I could be the one to come out of the room.
I mean, that's everything.
It is.
I was going to ask you, getting back to that fight, is what was your purpose in this fight? What was your, okay, I'm going in this third fight, I'm tired.
Yeah. Exhausted.
I'm tired
at that
and I need
point.
to win, or what?
Yeah.
Where was your head at that point?
Like I get to a place where even to this day I can look at myself walking into a ring and I have a face I don't recognize.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different place. It's a different place that you have to go. It is. It is. And you know, for whatever reason, just that one question of like, if two of you went in a room, one had to come out, am I capable of it as a human being to get to that place where I could be the one to come out? And I needed that answer.
Wow. And
so that's where I go, like to this place of like, I can take it to a level that you can't get to.
Do you have a name for that person?
They call him the smashing machine.
The smashing machine. That's how my next question was like, how did the smashing machine come up? Was it that early on?
So it was early on. Those first fights, there was a Brazilian reporter so
it actually was in this Brazilian time.
It was in that Brazilian time, and I get this magazine that a friend sends me and says, "Hey, look at the cover of this," and it's me fighting this guy Fábio Gugel. It's me on top of him, just beating the crap out of him. And it says in Portuguese, it says the machine that smashes the machine that smashed Máquina de Bater, I think is what it says. And it's one of those monikers of like that place you can go to. Can you get to that level?
Do you like that name?
At first, I didn't.
I was going to ask you that because at first, to say that you were just coming into this.
Mm-hmm.
And you're young. How old are you at this time?
Oh my gosh, 26, 27.
Yeah, well, you're young, and also at 26, you don't know everything. So,
no.
You know, if you're 36, you might start feeling bad. At 26, you're like, I'm a badass.
Yeah.
I'm just going. Yeah. And you're making the money.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story because it is about transformation and becoming the smashing machine.
Yeah.
This is your evolution of changing your personality. And then you said knowing that you know when it comes on.
Oh, yeah.
So you can be survival mode.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. Wow.
It's, you know, the interesting part, like, this is what's crazy. And it becomes addicting taking another person's will.
Yeah.
It really does. Like, I didn't understand, like, as my career progressed, this obsession that I had to be, you know, because I didn't want to be good. I wanted to be great. I wanted to be the best at what I was doing, right? Because otherwise, why am I doing it, right? Yep. I had this belief that, like, because at the time, nobody knew what a mixed martial artist looked like.
Right. That was new. That was still just coming out.
Oh, my God.
The MMA, the whole...
All of it.
It's so funny. I have an ex-husband who was into it very early on, so I know a little bit. Yeah. I'm not going to say I'm no pro, but I remember when it was a big deal, and a lot of people didn't know about it.
Not
because
at
we used
all.
to have these fight parties at our house and watch them, and I'd be like, what is going on? Like, but huge. Yeah.
So it's this evolution of like, you know, looking back, and a lot of this is in retrospect to understand like where my behavior was, what I was doing. So I literally go, okay, nobody knows what mixed martial arts is. I need to be the one to tell the tale. So I wanted to be professional. Mm-hmm. And so I showed up in ring and in incredible shape when I fought, right? I was articulate at press conferences. I showed up in a Calvin Klein suit, you know, all this stuff because I wanted to get paid.
Right.
So I wanted to set the standard
At this point, did you have a manager?
Uh, oh my gosh, that's funny you say it because back then it was like a guy that was like a clerk at Circle K, and then the next day he goes, "I'm an MMA manager."
Okay, I'm managing you.
That's
Yes.
so there
Because this
wasn't.
is when this business was starting to really take
Yep,
off. Yeah.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
It literally it started to gain traction after 99, 2000,
Right.
and then the original UFC was sold to well, it's not Dana White. He sold to Frank and Lorenzo Fertitta, or
The
the
Fertitta
brother.
brothers.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they're the
Who are
ones
in
that
Vegas.
bought
Yes.
it. They're the ones that bought it, and then Dana ran it.
Right.
And so it's one of those things where it's like that obviously changed everything.
Right. I remember that.
It changed everything.
Wow.
And so, a sport that I was doing to try to set a standard, it literally started leapfrogging
Right.
me. And so, with it, part of the introduction, comes this, I competed for so long that I didn't know who I was outside that.
So give us the year. So you started in Brazil. How long were you in Brazil?
So 97 was my first fights in Brazil. Fought in the UFC. So this is going to date me even more, but
Okay.
fought in UFC 14 and 15, where I won both of those.
Okay.
And then at the time there was a company over in Japan that was starting up. So I fought my first fights in Japan in March of 1998.
Wow.
And then I fought in Japan for the remainder of my career.
Wow.
So the Japanese were paying 10 times.
Can you speak Japanese?
At first, it's phonetically you can break it down, right?
Okay.
And it's one of those where they
Did
were
you like it there?
I did.
Yeah,
I
beautiful,
did.
right?
Yeah, it's just one of those really, really cool things. Like if anybody's not been to Tokyo, it's like for how big that city is and how clean it is, it's just shocking.
Right.
So I go over there, and over there it has a culture and a reverence for fighters that is off the charts. It's like baked into their DNA,
Right.
to appreciate somebody that's willing to be a Bushido warrior, right? To step in the ring and fight. They just have a different reverence and respect for it. And so in Japan, I fought in front of 92,000 people.
Wow.
I said, you want to check yourself at the door? Get in to fight another dude with 4-ounce gloves on, no shoes on, and hot pants. I go, that'll test you. That'll test you in ways you never knew.
Wow. And how long did you live over there fighting?
So I went back and forth. So I still lived in Scottsdale, and so from 97 was 98 was my first fights there through 2004.
Okay. And then when did the pain start? Like, so I know I know you did a whole documentary on, being addicted to pain medicine.
Yeah.
Which is so easy once you have a surgery or an illness or
Yeah.
your pain.
Yeah.
And then doctors give you medicine.
Yep.
And then you need it to keep going.
Yep.
So when did this all start with the fighting? Was it early on? Was it middle?
It was probably my second year when I was fighting in Japan, and a lot of that was in the Japanese culture. There's a lot of implied things that like. So I'm under contract with them, and they're implied that because I'm under contract, I'm available if they ask me to fight. So I knew my biggest value to them was my availability. And so instead of doing the things that I normally would do to treat like an injury, I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to take this.
Right.
Back then the internet wasn't the internet.
Right.
I couldn't look up what dope sick was.
Right.
I couldn't look up like, man, why when I don't take the opiates am I just, my body's just crashed.
Right.
And then the thing that keeps you trapped there is the shame of it. Like, who am I going to tell?
Yeah.
Who am I going to talk to?
You don't have anyone to, especially
No.
then.
Oh, my
especially
God,
then.
no.
Now it's a whole different story, but then
Yeah.
you're on your own.
Yeah. It's a completely different situation than it is now.
Right.
And everything culminated like my second year in Japan, where I kept having to up the dose and up the dose and up the dose and up the dose.
And what was the first injury that made you start using it?
I dislocated my elbow. And that was like the start of it, because it's just one where it's like I didn't want to report it to the Japanese.
Right, because that's your job.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, you're hurt.
Yeah.
So you can't fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like that whole thing was like they didn't care.
Right.
The company I work for was like, "Okay, that's awesome. When can you fight?"
Exactly. This is what we're here. Well, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
You're a
dislocation of my
commodity.
elbow exactly. And so, it turns out where that was like the first real big hiccup. And then from there, it was like, okay, I'm trying to cheat things now because I'm trying to take what normally would be like a 12-week rehab of it and condense it into like 3 weeks.
Right. Right.
And so how do you do it? Well, you get through these sessions, which are extremely painful. It's just this whole thing in your head where I rationalize it,
Right.
where it's like, yeah, well,
And you're still fighting at this time.
I'm still training at the time,
Training.
training for a huge event that they had me slated for.
Hmm.
And as things kind of started getting more intense and everything, it goes over this in the film, in the documentary. Um, I overdosed.
Oh, wow. Wow. And who was there to save you?
Oh, it's a whole sequence of events where, um, I end up, believe it or not, having a therapist because I wouldn't listen to anybody, and
Hmm.
and I had a therapist at the time that I was
Thank
seeing,
God.
and it's at night. It's like at night I've been out of control all day. Everybody around me is like, "You need to go check yourself into the hospital." I'm not listening to anybody. I'm, violently fighting against like anybody telling me what to do.
Right.
And the therapist, her name was Nell. And she's like, they get her on the phone. And she's like, "Hey, let's just go check your vitals." And they checked me in, and I had enough meds on board where when they got me there, overnight, I overdosed. I had
Wow.
enough because there was a combination of stuff, and most people, it's a cocktail of just
Right.
stuff, and
Of stuff you're taking and not paying attention to.
not at all,
And
not
what age are you
not
at
at all.
now?
So now I'm like 30.
Hmm. And when you overdosed, and you came out of it, what was the first thing you thought about?
What the fuck did I do?
Hmm.
Like a lot of it's like that shame, like I was talking about,
Right.
like, oh my God, now everybody knows.
Right.
It's this downward spiraling, like, oh my God, like, not even understanding, like, how am I going to dig myself out of, like, thinking of like all the planning that, like, well, I can do this and I can do this and I can do that. Not thinking about getting better, right? It's like how do I move towards, getting back where I'm fighting again or getting these people off my back? And
Right.
the reality is far from like what I'm feeling because the shame
Right.
of what's going on and just feeling like I let everybody down.
And were you happy you were back?
It yeah,
Yeah.
because part of it was like, and I've said this and um, so they hit me with the Narcan, which is to
Hmm.
reverse the opiate effect,
Yes.
and at that point, I had been mainlining morphine. I had been injecting morphine,
Mm.
um, for about the last, like, 9 months straight, and so when they hit you with it, it's such a shock to your system. So I'm completely unconscious. I could hear what the nurse was saying, but I
Mhm.
can't open my eyes and I can't move my body. And she's like, "I'm gonna give you something that's gonna wake you up." And so she puts in my IV line, and then it's like a baseball bat hits me in the back of the head. My eyes pop open, but I have no control over my body, and I start vomiting and throwing up, and I can't clear it from my airways. She freaks out. She leaves the room, and I'm there alone. And I can't breathe. Like I'm choking, and it took me I had to do EMDR. So
Mhm.
eye movement desensitization
Mhm.
remobilization to get rid of this because for months afterward, I'd wake up in the moon like gasping for breath. So it's this moment where I hear this voice and it's like Mark. And it's like, Mark. It says Mark. And it says, "Fight for me, show me you wanna live, and I'll show you the way."
And the voice. Who was that voice to you?
Um
That like
Good
what? That is
good
so beautiful.
question,
No,
yeah.
I, I will just start bawling. But I hope you don't mind me asking these
No,
questions because this is the truth.
it
You
is,
went to the
it
other
is.
side, and then you heard the voice.
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking
yeah.
this because I had a huge car accident once, but you heard the voice, and he said,
It
"If you want this." And so for you, who's that voice? Are you spiritual now? Do you believe
so
in
so
God? Do you
it's
believe in the
so
universe?
you know what part of
And
where
if I'm asking too much,
no,
tell
no,
me
no,
shut
no,
up.
you're good
Okay.
because 'cause they're
Okay.
good questions. It's so what I've come to believe for myself is that there's a greater consciousness,
Absolutely.
right? And I think for myself for a long time, I simplified it and I called it God, right?
Mhm.
But I think there's something like God simplifies it. I think it's just much bigger than that. I
Mhm.
think we're all connected,
Absolutely. I do
right?
too.
Like, I think we're all this interconnected intelligence, and I think it's all one being, right? Like this greater consciousness.
Mhm.
And it just said, "Hey, you're not done here," right? And so I was able to roll over. I was able to clear my airways and take this breath, which was like this amazing, like, oh my
I'm getting a second
God,
chance.
yeah,
I'm strong enough to get here and and you're going through so much at that time. You're not even realizing it, but later
yeah.
just to,
Oh, it was,
oh, what did I hear? Et
yeah,
cetera, et cetera.
yeah.
Wow.
Because a lot of it was like, did I really hear what I heard?
Yeah, of
And
course
it's
you did.
like, yeah,
I'm crying.
it's just, and from there, again, the internet wasn't the internet. There wasn't this like get on and search and figure out where to go.
And did you tell your therapist about this?
So yeah,
What was her
yeah.
name?
Uh,
Neil?
Nell,
Nell.
no,
Did you call
yeah.
Nell and tell her?
Yeah, Nell was aware of it, and, if it wasn't for Nell checking on me in the morning, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
It's just a whole sequence of
And do you still
events.
talk to Nell?
I haven't in a long time.
Be good to.
Yeah, it would.
So therapy to me, I think, is extremely important for all of us. My mom was a therapist. I go to a therapist now. I ask every guest that comes on here, do you go to therapy? Because we all need that anchor
Yeah.
that's not in our regular system
Yep.
to kind of give us very straight input if you have a good one, you know?
Yeah.
But getting back to the voice and coming out of that. So you came out of that. And how long were you in the hospital?
So, I was in the hospital for 3 days. So what happened, my body, my system was so, um, out of sync that, at some point, the doctors are like, "Hey, his system needs to balance itself." I was up hypoxic,
Hmm.
so a lack of oxygen, so my
Right,
blood was acidotic. It was all these different factors that they go, his body needs to self-correct.
right.
So it's 3 days of monitoring, and then, the filmmakers are filming at the time, they like, "We don't know what to do with you." So they wouldn't let me go to the house, obviously, because I had a bunch of stuff hidden there, and
Right.
so they sent me to New York, and then eventually I went into treatment for a month,
Okay.
and,
So this is rehab treatment.
yeah,
Yep, for a
yeah.
month. And were you happy to be there? Were you ready?
I was ready at that po
Good,
I was beat up.
good.
I was beat up because after my mom died, I never dealt with the
Yeah.
grief,
Yeah.
and this is what's amazing about therapy, right? So my mom dies, I get into fighting, foot on the gas. My whole motto was, "I'm gonna clean it up when it's over."
Because you that takes the pain away.
It
So
does.
you're busy so you don't have to deal with your real pain.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. And foot on the gas, and literally like wreckage just piling up behind me.
Mhm.
And finally, I think it was like 2 years after she passed, I get to a point where it's like, before all this happens, right? Before the overdose and all this happens, and a friend of mine's like, "You need to go see somebody. You haven't processed anything."
Right.
So I sit down with the therapist, and it wasn't Nell, it was a different therapist.
Mhm.
And the therapist, I sit down with her and I go, "Oh my God, I've been trying to get over this. My mom died, da, da, da." And therapist just looks at me and goes, "Time out. Hang on. You're never going to get over it. So stop trying."
You always feel like an orphan after your parent dies.
Yeah.
You just do.
Yeah.
It's something about when your parents pass away, or if you're close to your parents, you feel like an orphan no matter what, forever.
Abandoned. I
Mhm.
felt like, "Oh my god," like, I was 27. I
Mhm.
go, "I need you." Like, I felt but
But
again,
she was
understand.
your anchor, and then
Yeah.
you were looking for your anchor, and then you self-medicated yourself.
Yep.
So when did the HBO cameras come on with your
So
addiction?
so
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 that wasn't then, though.
so they just had started coming on board as my so
Okay.
this is again, like, sequence. It's like f so at the time when I was asked if I wanted a documentary crew to document me, I had just started with the opiates, but the opiates weren't I wasn't in an addiction mode, right?
Right. They were
Um,
in the helping you get through
yep,
the
help
day
me get
mode.
through the day mode. At the end of the day, like, oh man, my ankle swelled this big, it's like, okay, I'm gonna take, they weren't taking them as non-prescribed, right?
Right.
And so they started filming, I call it a pocket of time. It's like they filmed for like 18 months
Wow.
and it just happens to overlap like my ascension to the number one ranked mixed martial artist in the world, my ascension to a full blown opiate addiction, and then everything that happened afterward.
And this was just haphazardly how it happened.
And again,
There's no accidents.
there's no
There's
accidents
no
in this.
accidents.
This is one of these providence, right? It's like not understanding at the time, like the impact this would have down the road and have the ability for me to sit here with you and talk about real things, talk about real life, like the human condition.
Well, it's interesting you say that because just listening to you and looking at you and hearing your story is especially when whomever came to speak to you
Yeah.
and said you're not done
Yeah.
because you have something to teach other people
Yeah.
and you're here to help other people. And your story is not done because you have other challenges, but you also have things to grow and figure out.
Yeah.
And that is what life is. We we have all these difficulties, but we have to keep moving.
Yeah.
Life is movement. So it's you're saying that all that stuff happened because it was setting you up for the next phase
Yep. Yep.
of your life story.
And that, this will be the exclamation point when I explain this, but so, it ends up filming 18 months of my life.
Mhm.
And, you know, after after everything kind of settled down and the big climactic event is this big, huge event they have in Japan. I don't win. I'm favored to win, heavily favored to win this Grand Prix, that they have.
Wow.
And I don't win. And it was this feeling of like, at that point, I hadn't lost a professional fight.
Yeah, I was about to say, what was that like? Like, you've won all this time,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then this big event happens,
Yeah.
and you don't win for the first time. Tell
Yeah.
me about that. Tell me what that feels like.
It's crazy. It felt like relief.
Mm,
Felt like relief. Like most people don't understand. Like for me, the two loneliest places in the world for me, walking into the ring to fight, right?
mhm.
And then after you fight, whether you win or lose, it's the loneliest place on the planet because
And why?
well, after the fight, it's one of those things where it's like I have all this focus and energy and effort that goes into this one thing. It's over, and it leaves this huge void,
Like, what am I doing
emotional.
now?
Yep.
What do I
Yep.
do to plan now?
Yep. I mean, it's got I didn't understand, like, really what makes me tick as a human being is that routine, that focus, like, what makes me really good at sports is I'm the ability to hyper focus on one thing and exclude all other things,
Mhm,
right? But
mhm.
that's such a narrow band of
Right.
life to be able to do that.
But that might be why the drugs too play into it too, because you have this high, and then you don't
Mhm.
feel that high and you're coming down. You're like, well, I want to feel that high again.
Yep.
I want to feel good again. I want to feel
Yep.
needed again. So, I mean, it's completely understandable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's a complex thing that I've sorted out through the years because a lot of what like most people think like, oh my God, I get all this money and then I buy the Ferrari and I'm happy. It's like, oh my God, I've been there, done that. Right.
and
Like
then
I've,
you got the Ferrari, and you're like, okay, I don't even like the
yeah,
Ferrari
you
anymore.
don't, right. It's 5 minutes of fun. And then it's like, uh,
That's real talk. Like
it
that is
is.
so
It
truthful. I mean,
is.
it's like anybody who fights thinks that money's gonna change. Money can make your life more comfortable, but if
Yeah.
it's the foundation, then you have no foundation.
It's a zero. Right.
Exactly.
Um, Because I tell people, I've tried it. I've tried to buy my way into happiness. I've tried to have experiences like, oh, I'm gonna go to Cancun and then we're gonna have that. And it's like, okay, it was fun for 5 minutes and then you're back.
Right.
The one thing that I've discovered though, which is why I talk about real stuff, is that the thing that I coveted most was connection.
Exactly.
Like all the other stuff is just stuff.
It's all just stuff.
I didn't understand that. It took me forever to get to that place.
Well, I think we have our own journey understanding that. That's
Yeah.
part of the reason why I'm doing Out of the Fire,
Yeah.
because people, especially people in the entertainment business, I always say I'm celebrity adjacent. I work with a lot of celebrities. I am not a celebrity, but I'm celebrity adjacent.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of people with their careers. And we work so hard to get there and all this stuff going on. But in the end, you get that, like you said, the accolades, you win the trophies, and then you're by yourself. And if you don't like yourself,
Oh, it's terrible.
if you're not happy with who you are and learning how to become a better person, then none of it means anything. And having connection, having your community, your friends, your family, your loved ones,
Having real connection.
having real
Because
connections.
part of that understanding is that why, for me, like when I talk to somebody and even Dwayne and I, or, with Emily or with Benny, or because they're real conversations, there isn't this pretense,
Right.
right? It's like, I'm going to talk about real stuff because that's how I connect with you.
Right. Well, let's talk about the movie. Let's talk
Yeah,
about this
yeah.
amazing movie you brought up, because I was so engulfed in your story. I need to have you on here for like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, right.
But no, really, because you've had so many life events that, with becoming this gladiator, hero, fighter, to, getting hooked on opiates because you have pain. A lot of
Mhm.
a lot of people get hooked on opiates because of pain, and how to deal with the pain, and then having a near death experience
Yeah,
and coming back. And
yeah.
I would say that, and I'm asking you, did that change your life forever? Or did it take more time?
It took more time and a lot, because a lot of like anything else in sports or entertainment, my identity for so long was tied up in that. And this is what's incredible. I tell people this, it's like you wanna this is the simplest statement, the hardest thing to unravel. Fighting is what I did. It's not who I am.
Exactly.
You know how long it took me to unravel that? Like 10 years.
Mhm. Well, you started young, and that was your chismo.
Yeah.
You walked in the room, everybody said,
Yeah.
"Hey,
Yeah. And
that's the guy." You know what I
yeah.
mean? And especially when MMA and all that were just coming out, when that whole world was coming out, you guys are the new gladiators.
Yeah.
So that's easily happened. And that's why I said, were you in therapy? Because then you got to work on, okay, when all the little hoochie mamas are
Yeah.
gone and the drugs are gone,
Who am I?
who are you?
Yeah.
And what do you want to do out of life
Yeah.
besides this? So
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you here just really talking about this, because we all wind up on the same playing field.
We do. We do.
And what we do on the playing field is what's important. The movie. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
movie a little bit. Let's talk about how I read somewhere where you and Dwayne Johnson ran into each other and you guys had lunch or something.
So this is what
Yeah.
this
I
is
love
again.
this.
This is
This is what I
again
read.
like
Okay,
one of
yes.
these things where
You have a lot of this.
I do.
You do.
I do.
I already know that.
And
Okay.
so it's just interesting, like looking back, how many dots are connected, and how it's just this connection all the way back to where I am here.
Mhm.
So I moved to Santa Monica. I moved from Scottsdale to Santa Monica for a couple different reasons, but I started training at Gold's Gym in Venice.
Yeah. That was the hot place.
It was a hot place.
Yes.
And you know who trained there? Dwayne.
Right. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger started that, right?
Yep.
Yes. See, I'm from LA.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in
okay.
LA. So I know
Okay.
I was Venice Beach was like
Yep.
my playground, the whole thing.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're training there. And so like what you come to understand immediately is like when you get somebody like Dwayne and he's there, he's at work.
Right.
Like you're not going to go to somebody at work and go, "Hey, bro, you want to chat for a bit?" It's like, no, it's like
This is
so
my
he's,
office.
He's got his buds in, and he's got his Walkman,
Yeah.
and just
Walkman. You went way
so-
back, Walkman. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that. Yes, I know that era. Trust me.
and so we crossed paths, and It was a couple different times we crossed paths, and then some way, somehow, he ends up seeing, uh, The Smashing Machine,
Yes.
okay?
The
And
documentary.
the documentary,
Mhm.
and, I didn't know this at the time, so when we had crossed paths, he was rehabilitating, a torn ligament in his knee. Vince McMahon had sent him home from the WWE tour, it's like a
Right.
tour,
Right.
right? And said, "Go get healthy." They didn't know at the time, he hadn't become The Rock yet, right?
Right.
And so it's one of those things where we cross paths and he sits down with me and we have, the firehouse. We have, lunch at the firehouse and he's interviewing me basically. I didn't know this at the time until we reconnected. He was asking me like, "Hey, the Japanese, they pay good. How is it fighting over there? How is it?" He's
Wow.
asking me all these questions because he hasn't made it. Here's what he said. He goes,
Baby in his career.
yeah. So here's what he said. He goes, the WWE is paying him like $130,000 a year. He was on the road 315 days out of the year.
Wow.
So he goes, do the math.
That's crazy.
He
That's
goes,
crazy.
the math doesn't add up.
No.
And back then they had to pay for a lot of their own travel, a lot of their own hotel
Oh my
stays, all of
gosh.
that. It was like costing him money to stay on the road.
Right.
And they hadn't pushed him yet to be what he became, right? The Rock.
Right.
The best persona ever created on planet Earth.
You know what? He has carved an amazing career out. And I do not personally know him, but he seems like a very lovely person
Yeah.
and just a hard worker.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he's done some amazing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. My son loves him.
Yeah. Well, I tell anybody, I said, you want to root for one person on the planet? He's one of them.
Mhm. Yeah, he seems like it.
He's one of them.
Yeah.
He's
Just
repeat.
to hear what he's done with you, when I heard that story, I was just the confirmation of paying it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's so important in this world to pay it forward,
Yeah.
and to help other people because, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Our tribe, help other people. If I have it, then people around me have it. And I'm a firm believer in that. And hence that gets back why this podcast, because I've been very, very blessed, but I also have my challenges and most people don't know I had challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to say, listen, no, I had my challenges. And when they hear them, they go, whoa,
Yeah.
I don't feel so alone. Just like you.
That's the part where when I was going through a lot of this, I thought I was the only person.
Of course.
I didn't. But then having the ability or the courage to go, "Hey, man, here's what's really going on."
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, it opens a door for you.
Right.
And you walk through that door and you go, "Oh, my God, I had something similar happen to me."
And this is
And
how I can help
it's a
you.
chain effect.
Yeah. And here's some references to get you where you need to be. And
Yeah.
then you're not alone.
Yeah.
So getting to so you guys had lunch.
We had lunch.
He was trying to get his career
He
together.
was trying to get his career
You were giving him
together.
advice, which is great. Look at
Yeah.
you. Yes.
And
You
so
were paying it forward.
I was. And so again, we exchanged numbers and life happens.
Yep.
He goes his way. I go my way. And we had talked about this before, like, I was still active in the fighting community. So our paths had like woven in and out, in and out. And then 2019, I get a call from William Morrison Endeavor, right?
Mhm.
WME.
Agency. Mhm.
Agency calls me and says, leaves a message. And with the message, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Like,
who's
like,
pranking
okay.
me?
Right. Like, all right.
Who's pranking me right now? Yeah.
So, and at the time, I was 9 months sober. I'm coming up on 8 years now.
That's
a month.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's right there is everything.
Yeah.
Because in this crazy world, to stay on the right track, that's harder than fighting. As far as I'm concerned.
It is.
You know what I mean? That's hard. And it's also, your path on where you are now.
Yeah.
And who you are. And not giving up.
Yeah.
And that voice telling you you're not finished.
It's one where, at times it's just, I've felt like I've just said, I'm done. And then life will remind me of like, no. And this is like one of these reminders.
Right.
So, I look up the number and I'm like, so his agent, Brad Slater, called me. And so I call back. And so this is another kismet moment so Brad Slater, crazy how this goes. When I lived in Los Angeles, same time I met Dwayne.
Yes.
So a friend sets a meeting up with this agent that works in the mail room at William Morris, right? And
That's him.
and it's Brad Slater. I don't remember this. We had lunch at the Cheesecake Factory near Beverly Hills Mall.
Mhm.
And so Brad sits down and he's like, bro, how can I help you? I work in the mailroom. I just graduated from U of A and everybody starts in the mailroom.
Wow, they do.
And here's what he says to me. He goes, I promise you that one day I will be able to help you.
Wow.
So we reconnect in 2019 and he goes, you're not going to remember this. And I go, okay. And he tells me that story and I'm like, oh my God.
You know what's great about that story? You took lunch at the top of your career
Yeah.
with someone who worked in the mailroom.
Yeah.
They never forget that.
Yeah.
That's
True.
because of who you are.
True.
These are these gifts that you're like, hey, I'm gonna give you I don't know why I'm meeting with you, but yeah, I'm gonna meet with you. And look what the gift you gave turned into.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Keep going.
Yeah.
You got amazing stories. Like your stories are just they really are like a movie.
It is.
For real.
It
And,
is.
it's so exciting to hear that because most of us are moving so fast in life, we forget these little jewels
Yeah.
that are planted.
Yeah.
And then they grow to now he's calling you.
Now he's been the agent for, at that point, like 8-9 years for DJ, right? And so he reminds me of that story. And I about dropped the phone because I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. He goes, who owns your life rights? Who owns your movie script, right? I'm like, I don't know. But I'm going to point you in the right direction where I think this is who owns it. And it ends up being owned by some guy here in LA, 70-something-year-old, retired Israeli and tank commander. Seriously.
How did he get it? Like,
so he bought it and apparently he's done this for his whole entire career. He just accumulates scripts and movie rights and life rights. And then
and you had nothing, you didn't have to have anything to do with it?
So that's a longer story. But
okay. I'm like, I'm confused. Hold up. Wait a minute. We need these kids to know.
Yeah.
Like, don't sell your shit. Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's literally like back in 2006, there was a deal. And again, one of those things where it's like, I was a grown ass man. So if I didn't understand a contract,
yeah, you got to have your attorney read it.
Should have had an attorney read it.
You got to check.
Because there's, and this is, here they know this. And they have container rights, like container rights. And I explained it to somebody that doesn't know, like New York City, you have air rights above your building.
Right.
Container rights are like that. It's everything.
Right.
And so, so Brad goes and tracks us down and Dwayne's production company, $7 buys it.
Wow.
And I get a call. He's like, Dwayne's going to call you next, after the deal was closed. He's like, Dwayne's going to call you. DJ calls me and he's like, okay, hey man, I'm going to make this announcement. I'm going to make the Smashing Machine. We're going to go forward with it. It's going to da-da-da. He makes the announcement at the UFC event, which is a BMF, which stands for Bad Motherfucker, right? BMF event in Madison Square Garden. And that's in November 2019 and pandemic.
Right. Right there.
But this is God doing for me what I can't do for myself. Because like I told you, at the time I get hold of Brad, I was 9 months sober. So he makes the announcement. I'm a year and a couple months sober. Pandemic happens. Another year goes by. Another year goes by. Another year. Writer strike happens. Right. So I go from having a year of sobriety to having 4 years of sobriety.
Right.
And then I reach out in the fall of 2023 and get a hold of Brad. Brad's like, oh my God, your ears must be burning. This thing's going forward. Dwayne's going to call you. I'm like, so this is what's crazy. So I had DJ's number for 4 years. I didn't call or text him once.
Wow.
Because I literally go, what am I going to change?
Well, one, you're divinely protected. You're divinely guided. I already know that.
Yeah.
What were you doing those 4 years?
So
like, what were you doing financially? I mean,
I know that's a lot.
I got so many questions. Like, what were you doing? Like, because I would have called. I would have been like, yo, dude, what up? Like,
oh my God.
What were you doing?
So, gosh, man, this is like, so in that time frame, I started working for a friend of mine, Jay Glazer, who works for Fox NFL Sunday.
Mhm.
He has a charity which is called MVP. It's Merging Veterans and Players. I started working for his organization, and that was kind of one of those temporary things, trying to open up a chapter in Arizona,
Right.
and so that went from. And then I meet my wife, and she has a company, so I start helping her with her company, and it was just stuff to. It was busy work,
Right.
right? It was like, okay, do this, like, and then it just transitioned to where, in the fall of 2023, uh, I get married in December 2023, and, when DJ and I reconnect on the phone, he's like when he says such stuff's moving forward, it's
Right.
it's like, I don't understand, there's 300 people that are employed behind him
Right.
that
Right. Right.
are like,
They're like, "You can say this now."
yeah,
He's like, "Okay. It's done? Okay, yeah,
it's
let's go."
done.
Yeah.
'Cause, not understanding the magnitude of
Right.
what it is to make a movie.
Yes. It's
Like
huge.
like, understanding that Benny Safdie, he signed on, a producer, Dave Copeland, he signed on, Emily Blunt, she signed on,
Huge.
DJ signed on,
Huge.
and they have everything. They have a incredible cinematographer named Maceo. He's been partners with Benny in a couple different projects, all this, like, all these amazing. I go, "You wanna talk about, like, the universal lining?" Because I go, not only does Dwayne, DJ, have to find 12 weeks in his schedule,
Which is
which
unbelievable.
which
Yeah.
sometimes I'll call and leave a message, and it'll be scheduled, like, 2 weeks out where he can
Wow.
return the call.
Wow. That's crazy. I believe that. I mean, he's
Yeah,
a busy
he's a busy,
he's a
busy,
busy
busy,
guy.
busy guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's one where it's like, for him to find that block of time, like Maya, who's one of his assistants, Maya's like, "You don't understand. We moved
Wow.
heaven and earth to
Wow.
open this up." And then everybody else's schedule has to open up for that.
Wow.
And so it went from that to where, hey, pre-production, they bring me up to Vancouver,
Mhm.
where a lot of it was shot,
Mhm.
and Dave Copeland, the producer, is bringing me around all these different departments. They recreated my whole entire life.
Wow. He looked really, I mean, I looked at some of it. I didn't see he looked so much, he act like you. Like, I was, like, watching old stuff going, like, I this might have been one of his best movies, to be
Yeah,
honest, to me. I mean, he has great movies,
yeah,
but just how but you could tell he knew who you
yeah.
he knew you. You know, you could tell that this was very serious for him. A
He
beautiful, beautiful movie, beautiful movie.
Thank you.
Beautiful movie about your life. Just so sitting there watching it.
Hard,
I
hard,
was about to say, how I mean, I would have been
therapeutic.
like, "Oh, yeah."
It was so first time, this is what was beautiful. First time I saw the first rough cut was January 2025
Mhm,
here in Beverly Hills.
mhm.
And so it was just Benny, me, and my brother
Okay,
flew out, right?
okay,
And small little theater, like
right.
the theater here, right? It's
Okay.
just small. And I sit down and we're watching it, and it was therapy.
Mhm,
Like I didn't understand how hard it would impact me,
mhm.
but a lot of it was therapeutic because I could go, "Oh my god." Like, I was so hard on everybody around me.
Right.
Like,
Was I really like that?
yeah, like, really, like,
Mhm.
really, like, and again, I used the, like, I'm trying to raise everybody up.
Right,
So if you're not on board with what I'm doing, I don't have time for you.
right.
And looking back on it, go, that's one way to go about it. There's probably 500 different ways that Tony Robbins would tell you that's not the right way to go about it. But, it's like one of those things where it's
Right.
like, oh crap.
Well, you
So
got to analyze your own life
yeah.
looking at in I mean, the parts that they got, and how do you think
Oh,
it was very accurate?
so here's what was
Okay.
crazy. So that screening, the credits start rolling, and I'm bawling, Benny's crying, and my brother's crying, and we're all like in a group hug in the middle of the theater, and lights come up, and out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, look, and there's Emily and DJ. They snuck into the theater. They didn't want to ruin my emotional experience, so they waited. And then we sit down and have this like group session for an hour. We sit there to where the guy that's running the theater goes, "Hey, I'm gonna have to ask you guys to go to the lobby to get out of it."
Whoa.
But it was one of those things where DJ was like, "Did I get it? Am I on?" And I'm like incredible.
That's beautiful.
It was incredible. It's like such a
That's
unique
beautiful.
experience.
Now you see why that higher self said,
Ah,
"You're not done yet,"
not done yet.
you know? You have so many more accolades and so many more things to do and so many lives to change. Um, okay, I'm gonna ask you some
Sure.
out of the fire
All right.
questions because I could talk to you all day. I'm serious. You have amazing stories. Like, damn, like, and I do. I think that for you, just I don't know if I've said this to anyone else. You've got these angels with you. Like,
Mm,
I see them. I really do. I see them like carrying you through, like your soldiers. Like, there's no way for you to go from where you are to now without
yeah.
having
Yeah.
whatever we call it, the light,
Yeah.
enlightened. So looking back, would you do it all the same way?
Yeah.
Mhm,
And again, this is one of these things where it's like I needed every single thing I went through to get here.
mhm,
I'm built this way where you can tell me there's a door at the wall there, and I'm gonna run into the wall 9 times, and then on the 10th time, I'm gonna go, "Okay, I'll try the door." Right?
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
how I'm built,
Right.
as I had this determination of like, good or bad. Wisdom has parsed out where it's like, "Hey, you might wanna ask where the door is and how
Mhm,
to open it,"
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And so the accumulated wisdom over the years has kinda led me in that direction where now I have the humility to go, "I don't know, Allison, how do you go about it? How do
Right,
you"
right.
right? Like, there's points where pride,
Yeah,
and all the different things that come with, didn't allow me to ask for that help that I need,
right.
you
Well, you
know?
were focused.
I was incredibly
Yeah,
focused.
you were focused. What's your next chapter like? Like, if you could do anything you want, or what are you doing
Yeah.
now? Like,
So
what's
so
going on right
so
now?
so right now, me and my wife have a company, it's called Absolute Wellness. She
Absolute
runs a
wellness.
part called, Build Absolute Wellness.
Mhm.
She built, amenity spaces in multifamily, municipality. So if you got a gym or a recovery space and wellness and stuff, she's brilliant at it. She's done it for 20 plus years.
Awesome.
I have another part of it, which is called Live Absolute Wellness, and
Mhm.
my wife doesn't like I give acronyms for everything. Law, Live Absolute Wellness, right?
Yes. I mean, that's how people remember things, you know what I mean?
It does, and
Yes.
so part of that is developing, um, products and services that the individual, because a lot of where my recovery has come is taking responsibility for my health.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't have to go and like, a doctor's necessary to an extent, things
Mhm.
are necessary to an extent, but I have to become responsible for it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I can't leave it to somebody else,
Right.
right? It's like, so that, personal responsibility to be able to do it with all the technology they have out now,
Mhm.
your ability to look at your health, your sleep habits, your eating habits, your like, now they have, a continual glucose monitor, which is called a biosensor
I wanna
now.
do one of those,
So
yes.
they're called
Mhm.
biosensors now because before you needed a doctor's prescription to get one,
Right.
because now they classify it as a biosensor, you don't.
Right.
So
So if somebody wants to get healthy and stay healthy, what would your first recommendations for somebody?
first
Say
rec
somebody who's over 40 and they're like, "I need to get my life together." What are the first recommendations?
here's what I tell people. I go, so most people want the end result,
Mhm.
right? And I go, well, the thing that makes the difference is micro changes, right?
Mhm.
Just these small little changes. I'm going to go to bed a little bit earlier. I'm going to get up a little bit earlier,
Right.
right? I'm going to do those small little things. Those are incremental changes, micro changes, but they compound over time,
Right.
right? Like people don't understand that, like small little changes. I'm not going to eat sweets.
Right.
I'm only eat sweets on the weekend,
Right.
whatever it is, right? So it's these small micro changes. And understanding like the mindset is to first get your head wrapped around. They're small changes.
Right. They
And
are.
and those small changes lead to big results. It
Right.
takes time.
Mhm.
And so that's the first thing is get a mindset of like, I can do this.
Mhm.
There's enough information out there.
Mhm.
And then you develop a baseline, like literally getting your body
Mhm.
composition done. and
Mhm.
saying, "Okay, I'm gotta lose a little bit here. I gotta do it a little bit."
Right.
It's one of those things, it's not aesthetics.
Right.
It's one of those where
Working inside your body and being healthy and making baby steps
yep,
getting there,
it
baby
is,
steps
it
getting
is.
there.
Because again, it's like when like, 8 years ago before I got sober, I was 315 pounds.
Wow.
I developed type 2
Yep.
diabetes, developed peripheral neuropathy,
Yep.
ignoring everything,
Wow.
drinking to the point where, I would have drank myself into the grave.
Wow.
And so getting sober, it's like that daunting task
Yeah.
of like, "Oh, man, I've put myself here again.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I need to do?"
Health is wealth.
It is.
And I really, even for me, I'm really learning the healthier habits,
Yep,
healthier
yep.
habits. Sleeping is one that I think we all ignore. We brought up
Ugh,
sleeping, and it's
it's
hard for me because I stay up late, but I'm trying to make myself go to sleep earlier and do all that.
so
Yes.
I was laid out too, and
Hmm.
again, understanding like through wearables, like, this is called
Yep.
Ultra Human.
Right.
They're it's a fantastic company. These are the new rings they came out. This is called Ultra Human Pro.
Okay.
And so, 15 days of battery life in it, right?
Wow.
It'll store 250 days of data on it if it wasn't next to your phone.
Wow.
And so what it told me was that I have a golden hour for sleep.
Oh,
Like if I get to bed before 10, so it'll allow me on my phone to set an alarm where I can get through 5 REM cycles. If I get to bed before 10, I'll get through 5 REM cycles. When I get through 5 REM cycles, the alarm goes off and it wakes me up. It's usually around 6 in the morning.
oh, I got to try that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you sleep straight through the night?
So there's nights where I get restless. There's nights where I'm
You know I'm having
restless.
issues. I'm like, do you sleep right through the night? I know we're
Like
way
a
off of that.
baby,
Yeah, it's
like a
like
baby.
I miss doing that. Let me get to a couple questions.
Sure.
So, what do you want the world to remember about you, or you can write see what the world sees, and
Yeah,
what do you want them to remember most is important to you?
connection.
Connection.
You
I love that.
connecting to another human being is the,
Hmm.
you know, um, it's like I said, I've
Hmm.
tried to fill up that hole in me
Hmm.
with all of this stuff,
Right.
buying stuff, doing stuff, all these different things, and realizing the thing that where I feel the fullest as a human being is when I actually can express myself, talk about deep things, real things, the human condition, and allow you to have that same relationship with
Yes.
me,
Yes.
where it's not judgment.
No.
It's, this accumulated wisdom of like, man, I've had these life experiences and it's taught me one thing, that I'm here to connect.
Human connection.
Human
And
connection.
I agree with you because the whole reason this podcast exists is for human connection to help other people.
Yeah.
Because other people sometimes feel alone in the world, not knowing that other people go through similar
Yeah.
challenges or challenges that are very different. But nobody escapes challenges, so we can't give up
Yeah.
ever. We can't give up. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving, and it does. It
Yeah.
gets very difficult. Um, Life is difficult.
It
Like I always
is.
says, life is
It
be
is.
lifing. But then you have these jewels that show up because you do the right thing
Yeah.
and you're a good person
Yeah.
and you never give up, and it just starts like blooming. And that's what it sounds like with you, that you've had so many challenges, but also so many
Oh
upsides.
my God. Yeah.
And I think it's just starting. Like, I think you're just on a whole nother journey of helping people understand that, you start out, we all have our challenges, and then we bloom and live our best damn life,
Yeah.
or at least try your best
Yeah.
living your best life.
And
So,
thinking about this, like it's the crucible that made me, right?
yeah,
It's that fire that did make me, because it's all those things that I went through.
yeah.
Every single one of them in some capacity shaped me or nudged me in the direction I needed to go.
Yeah.
And so I don't curse anything anymore.
Well, well, I know. Have you done a lot of motivational speaking?
I've done a little bit.
You'd be great at motivational speaking. I'm telling you right now, talking to you, I was ready to cry and I was already bawling. And no, but in
Yeah.
sincerity of
Yeah.
your story, but also listening to where you're at And
Yeah.
that's so inspiring. Have you written a book?
So that's in the works.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. I mean, you already
Yeah.
got the movie.
Yeah,
You got
right.
you got you got to write the book.
Yeah.
And you got your
Yeah.
documentary because
Yeah.
I think you out on this, especially with these kids,
Oh,
sports
it's
kids, the Olympic
huge.
kids, all that.
All of it.
If you could go out and speak to them, one, you probably would save so many lives because these kids get hurt and they keep moving and they keep
Yep.
going. And it's like, no, it's not about doing all the, sometimes doctors give you too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and really teaching them about navigating their lives.
It's
Especially
e
in the sports world. That's
Oh
a
my
tough
god.
world.
It's brutal.
It's a tough, tough world.
Yeah.
Well, I wanna
Yeah.
say thank you for coming
No,
to Out
thank
of
you
the
for having
Fire.
me.
Thank
I
you.
really
Your
appreciate
story
it.
is, like, amazing, like, seriously. So, tell me where if you want everybody to find you,
Okay,
what you're
yeah.
working on, give me all your accolades. Let's
Okay.
know what
All
you
right.
got going on.
So I have a brand ambassadorship with a great company called Datavolt AI, and they
Mhm.
do a bunch of stuff with NIL, name, image, and likeness for athletes.
Oh, okay.
Really, really cool stuff.
So they get your name, image, likeness,
It's
and then they do
help
deals.
monetize
Oh,
it. Help
that's
monetize
awesome.
it. Yeah.
These kids need this. That's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh, it's huge.
Okay.
But that's just one of a dozen things the company does,
Okay.
which are beneficial in a lot of different ways. My wife and I have our company, Absolute Wellness. It's Build Absolute Wellness. And Absolute is spelled with soul.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that. Okay.
All right. So that's another one. And then on socials, you can find me at Mark Kerr TSM, the smashing machine, .com.
.com.
Well, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on Out of
No.
the Fire. Your story is just inspiring, transforming, and just one of a kind. And
Thank
no
you.
wonder there's movies and I see books. And honestly,
No,
you're a
I
great
appreciate
speaker.
it. Thank
Honestly,
you.
you need to get out. You need to get out and lecture with these kids and help these kids
Thank you.
because you definitely have a light about you. So thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Every guest who sits in the chair reminds me that pain doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care how successful you are, how famous you are, how strong you appear. Mark Kerr was called the Smashing Machine. But what inspires me most isn't that he became one of the toughest fighters in history. It's that he became vulnerable enough to let the world see him broken and courageous enough to rebuild his life any way he thought fit. That takes a different kind of strength. Mark, thank you for trusting us with your story.
Mm.
Thank you for reminding us that redemption is always possible. And thank you for providing that even the strongest among us sometimes need help, and that asking for it is never weakness. To everybody watching, whatever fire you're walking through today, remember this. The fire isn't there to define you, it's there to reveal you. I'm Alison Ball. This is Out of the Fire. We'll see you next time. Thank you.